Ladies and gentlemen, as I stand here before you today, there are so many things that I want to say to you. But I do understand that brevity has its place. And perhaps right now be best served for me to keep things brief. I've learned many great lessons to this point in my life. And in learning those lessons, I've had some really remarkable teachers. I think of my 5th grade teacher, Mrs. Stevens, who taught me that many times the only thing that a child needs to reach their full potential is an adult that believes in them. Or my uncle, who was himself an educator. And he taught me that education is the key to freeing oneself from undesirable circumstances. Then, of course, my father. He was one of the most hardworking individuals that I had ever known. He taught me about resilience and commitment, while helping me to understand that the one thing that makes a man is the ability to be decisive. Right or wrong, we must make decisions in life. We can't allow the fear of failure or wrong choices to hold us captive. This fear has stymied many men and women that had all of the attributes of greatness woven within their DNA. But as great as those lessons were, perhaps 3 of the greatest lessons that I've learned in life came not from a classroom setting or a life lesson taught by one of the many sages that I've had the privilege of knowing. These 3 lessons instead came directly from God. See, God in His infinite wisdom has woven into the tapestry of our surroundings many of life's greatest teachers. These teachers aren't dressed in robes. They don't stand before classrooms. Instead, they're often hidden in plain sight. They're hidden in the birds of the air, the beasts of the fields, and yes, even the creatures that swim deep beneath the ocean. You see, nature offers many of life's greatest lessons. And today I would like to share just three very simple lessons that we can learn from nature. 3 lessons that, if applied, can help us to reach our true potential while enabling us to become all that God has created us to be. For the first lesson, we need only look to the sky. There we find the eagle. Now see, the eagle is a confident and powerful bird. The eagle flies alone. It seeks no flock. It doesn't scratch the ground with the chickens. No, the eagle soars at 10,000 feet high above the clouds. It flies at such heights to avoid all of the distractions that are underneath it. See, if while in flight an eagle encounters another bird, the one thing that we know with certainty is it will most definitely be another eagle. Because only eagles have dominion over such heights in nature. But there is something that I do believe is very interesting about the eagle. As it flies at 10,000 feet, it's flying to hunt. From nearly 2 miles up in the air, it spots its prey with uncompromised focus and vision, never losing sight of it. Then it reaches speeds of over 200 miles an hour as it dives down unbeknownst to its next meal. There's something powerful in that. And you might be thinking to yourself, what do we learn from the eagle? See, if we're going to become all that God has created us to become, there are 2 things that we have to pick up from the eagle. First, we have to understand that we must soar above distractions. We must lift our eyes to the sky and soar above all of the distractions that are beneath us. They serve only to waste our time and keep us off track. And we must also never lose sight of the objective. As the eagle soars high up in the sky, he never loses sight of his prey on the ground. But the eagle isn't the only animal that we learn from. The second lesson that we learn from nature, we find on land deep in the Serengeti when we looked to the lion. The lion is paralleled in its power and majesty by none. It's one of the most feared yet respected animals on the planet. But there's a very interesting fact about the lion that can't go unnoticed. See, a lion in the wild can live up to 20 years when it's a part of a pride. But a lion, if left alone, has a life expectancy in the wild of only 2 years. See, there's an exponential power and protection that comes when a lion finds itself surrounded by others that are on the same mission as own. See, a lion doesn't want to be in just any group. It has to be in a pride. Individuals that are seeking to do the same things that it's seeking to do. And there's something inherently embedded in that very principle that each and every one of us can learn from today. What do we learn from the lion? We learn that if we're going to become what God has created us to become, we have to surround ourselves with people that are on the same mission as us. We must define our pride. We have to be selective and intentional about the people that we surround ourselves with. See, you'll never become a king if you surround yourself with hyenas. That's one thing you could also take with you. You'll never see lions on the Serengeti plains running with hyenas. Lions don't run with hyenas, and you shouldn't either. See, lions hunt. Hyenas scavenge and steal. They're two totally different beasts. And if you surround yourself with hyenas, you'll find that you spend most of your time doing what hyenas do rather than being majestic and kingly like a lion. And there is one more lesson that I think we learn from nature. A lesson that is often overlooked. It's a lesson that we don't expect to find from the animal that's teaching it. And see, sometimes there are people that we don't expect to learn anything from. But we have to keep our eyes open and our heart receptive, because sometimes there are lessons woven within the things and the people that we are coming into contact with that we didn't anticipate to get. See, if we look to the sea, we find that perhaps the most feared creature in the ocean is teaching a master class in perseverance. The ferocity and ruthlessness of the shark paints images in our mind that keep many of us from going into the water. Do you know that sharks can only swim forward? See, that's something that I didn't realize until just a few days ago. Sharks can only swim in one direction. See, unlike most fish that can hover and swim in both directions, sharks don't possess that ability. Sharks can't retreat when they face opposition. They can't hide in a nearby hole when things are difficult. No, when sharks face adversity, there's only one thing they could do. They have to keep moving forward. And there's something else that you pick up whenever you watch a shark. See, if you look closely at a shark, you'll notice that their flesh is often either wounded or deeply scarred. See, those wounds, those those scars that we see on the shark, it's proof that life has been unkind to them. Yet somehow they keep moving forward. Despite all of the opposition, despite the battles, despite the attacks that they have to face, they persevere and they continue moving forward with purpose and dogged determination. So what do we learn from the shark? If we're going to become all that God has created us to be, we have to understand that we'll be wounded by life. You're gonna get some scars. You're gonna be hurt by things and by people, and you're not gonna anticipate it happening. No one goes through life without getting scarred. But even when we're taking the best shots that life has to offer, we have to continue moving forward, scars and all, with purpose and determination, just like the shark. As I wrap up, I want you to consider this one thing. If you walk away with nothing else, walk away with this understanding. Know that life won't be easy. You'll have to take its best shots. Things are going to come at you in ways and from places that you cannot anticipate or be prepared for. There's going to be a lot of unforeseen circumstances that you can't control. But here's what I want you to understand. If you apply these principles, if you apply these simple principles, nothing can stop you from reaching your full potential. Nothing can stop you from becoming who God created you to be. If you just remember these few things. You have to understand that you have to soar above the fray and distractions. You have to surround yourself with people on the same mission that you're on. And above all else, no matter how hard life hits you, no matter how difficult things become, you have to continue moving forward with a dogged determination, understanding that no matter what you get hit with, God will see you through to the other side.